Welcome to the Red Mountain Railroad.
Welcome back to the fourth and final video about the small addition to my layout. This small addition is an abandoned coke oven scene, and it's probably 90%, 95% complete. And we're going to stop right now. I've been at it for 2 weeks. Time to move on to something else, and we'll talk about what still needs to be done and where we are. So enjoy the video. Okay, here's my 90% completed abandoned coke oven scene. And in the scene here, this is our main line trackage over here. I got a train sitting there idling right now. Then this is track here. It's a track coming from main line that was used to put hoppers to load the finished coke into. This is the work area right here, where the workers would unload the coke from the ovens and then dump them into waiting hopper cars. And on the upper level, we have the Larry car track. Basically, the Larry car would be used to load through these ports, these charging ports, coal to the coke ovens. Those charging ports are also vents. And then beyond that is up here is the hillside, which is basically, I'm carrying on a winter scene I have in this area to lay out. So we have some dead leaves and some basically winter trees. You'll also notice that on the both of these levels, because they've been abandoned, we got a few saplings growing. It's all part of the scene. Okay, over at this end of the coke oven bank, you can see just the Larry car track is just ending right here. Then I have a dead space where there's nothing. What I need to do is add a loading area where they would load the coal into the Larry cars to be loaded into the coke ovens. Initially, I was going to build a tipple to do that, but I really don't have the room to do that. So after discussions with my cousin Ed up in Pennsylvania, who's pretty much an expert on coke ovens, he said a lot of these small coke oven outfits, Coke Works, they would load the coal into the Larry cars, basically from dump trucks into some sort of bucket elevator through a little, just basically not so much a tipple, but more of a transfer hopper. So right now I'm in a process of designing that and figuring out how much space I need, and I'll have to scratch build that. That's going to take some time. I've already been 2 weeks at this project, so it's time to just back off and to do something else. So the little loading station would be a future project, which I'll probably do a video on and talk about sometime in the future. But right now, we're going to stop on this project, and let me take the camera off and move it around and give you some close-up of the scenes. Okay, let me show you a close-up of some of the detail. Over here's the main line, and here's a track that went to the coke ovens for spotting hoppers to load the finished coke. You can see all the weeds that have put on the tracks. These weeds are a combination of Woodland Scenics ground foams and these little red ones, or little green ones rather, the little green ones that are sticking out here straight up. They're just pieces of twine that I've cut off and glued in place. The whole, if you recall from the first video, the whole this whole area was made out of 1-inch blue extruded foam, which I bought at Lowe's. And after I cut out the basic shape, and there's 3 layers of foam, after I cut out the basic shape, then I glued these retaining walls, which are plaster castings. I painted them and glued them. And we have both stone wall, and at the far end there, we have some wooden retaining walls. And of course, then we have the coke oven fronts, which are also plaster castings. That's been painted. And then in this upper area, we have the Larry car tracks, and those little openings are for loading the ovens and also venting the ovens. And the Larry cars would load into those openings. And on that Larry car, I got one that I've weathered up. I'm going to be weathering up a few more. And I will add side discharge chutes to them, so they'll be able to discharge right into the loading ports. Up above here, we have some basically bare trees. These trees are the Scenic Express trees that you can buy. You know, with the Scenic Express trees, you can do a lot of different things. And I have some here that are fall trees that have Woodland Scenics ground cover glued to them to give it the appearance of fall trees. But these ones here are just bare as they come from Woodland Scenics. They give the impression of a winter tree. And that winter tree look is carried all through this one section. You can see this whole one section back here is all supposed to be winter. You see patches of snow that are on the ground that are been in the shade up in the rock areas. And in these leaves that you see all over the place, basically are leaves that in the fall I gather from the yard, and I ground them up in my, well, first I dried them, then I ground them up in my wife's food processor. So that's how I made all this stuff. And again, you can see from the close-ups, the detail is pretty good on them. Now, as like most of my projects, these things are all going to evolve and improve over the time. As I sit there and think about things, I'll say, oh, I could do this, I can do that, and to make it better, and I will. But you always got to have a starting point. This is a starting point. Hope you enjoyed this video. Well, that's the end of this Red Mountain Railroad video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.